friends, welcome to another Turkish shelf video. For this month I'm going to do a tag video and the name of the tag is Literary Adventures tag. The idea for adapting this tag to my Turkish shelf video series actually came when I was watching Margaret take on this tag. She mentioned some of the places that she visited in Turkey. I thought why not do this tag so that I could talk about the places that some of the books written took place, and I actually visited them. Because I have so many books to talk about, I will just name the name of the book or the name of the series. While doing that, I will put some pictures of the places I have visited, and some of them will include some pictures of me when I was younger. The first place that I'm going to talk about is, of course, Istanbul. I've chosen a sample of books and book series that takes place in Istanbul, but even this sample is a very long list. So I will start with the books from Turkish authors that have been translated to English. Most of Orhan Pamuk's works, including My Name is Red, Istanbul, Museum of Innocence and Snow, takes place in Istanbul. Likewise, most of Elif Şafak's works takes place in Istanbul as well. Some of them include Three Daughters of Eve, Bastard of Istanbul, The Architect's Apprentice, and The Flea Palace. Three of Ayşe Kulin's work, Last Train from Istanbul, Without a Country, and Farewell. Buket Uzuner's works, Medittenearn Waltz, True Green Otters, and Water also takes place in different parts of Istanbul. House with Wisteria, which is a Turkish biographical work by Halide, Edip, Adıvar. Wren, which is a Turkish classic by Reşat, Nuri, Güntekin. Likewise, a Turkish classic, Time Regulations Institute by Ahmet, Hamdi, Tanpınar, takes place in Istanbul. More modern works such as Istanbul Noir by Mustafa Ziyalan and Ahmet Ümit's series, Başkomiser Nevzat series, also takes place in Istanbul. I can say most of the works that are written by Turkish authors actually takes place in Istanbul. So Istanbul is the most literary place for Turkish authors as well. But it is the same for authors from other countries. I will first of all start with the classics. The plot of The Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie starts in Istanbul. The Orient Express actually departs from Istanbul. And a short story by Ernest Hemingway also takes place in Istanbul, which is Snows of Kilimanjaro. A part of Ian Fleming's famous novel From Russia with Love takes place in Istanbul. And The Orient Express and Travels with My Aunt by Graham Greene partly takes place in Istanbul as well. And in a middle grade classic, The Mysterious Mannequin by Caroline Keene, Nancy Drew actually visits Istanbul. More modern works such as The Inferno by Dan Brown, The Dervish House by Ian MacDonald, Behemoth by Scott Westerfield also takes place in Istanbul. And there are some series written by non-Turkish authors that takes place in Istanbul. Investigator Reşim series by Jason Goodwin, Kamil Pasha series by Jenny White, and Inspector Ickman series by Barbara Nadel takes place in Istanbul. I have to give a special place to Moran Freely, who translated most of the Turkish works, especially works by Orhan Pamuk to English. She also wrote 3 books that takes place in Istanbul. The Life of the Party, Enlightenment, and Sailing Through Byzantium. As you can see from this huge list, which does not even cover a quarter of the books that takes place in Istanbul, Istanbul is the most literary place in Turkey, and I have visited Istanbul many times, as you can see from the abundance of pictures. And the second most famous literary place is Çanakkale, because the mythological city of Troy exists in Çanakkale. And there are many books about the Trojan Wars. Of course, the most famous one is Iliad by Homer. I have chosen some of the most famous retellings of Trojan Wars, such as Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, The Silence of the Girls and Woman of Troy by Pat Barker, A Thousand Ships by Natalie Haynes, Helen of Troy by Margaret George, and Troy series by David Gemmell. Aside from the historical city of Troy, the Gallipoli Wars also took place in Çanakkale, and there are some historical fiction novels which talks about the Gallipoli campaign, as it mentioned in the British history. Long White Cloud by Buket Uzuner, which is actually my favorite novel that has been translated to English. Gallipoli Street by Mary Ann Connor, Evans Gallipoli by Carrie Greenwood, and Nightingale by Fiona Mackintosh all talks about this time in history. Our capital, Ankara, has been the setting of some of the Turkish novels that has been translated to English. A section of Madonna in a Fur Coat by Sabahattin Ali takes place in this city. Likewise, parts of Last Train to Istanbul by Ayşe Kulin and Without a Country by the same author also partly takes place in Ankara. Human Landscapes from My Country, a poetic work by Nazım Hikmet, talks about the adventures of a man who takes the train from Istanbul to Ankara, so the destination is the capital. And The Time of Mute Swans by Ece Temelkuran takes place mostly in Ankara as well. I also visited Adana, and Yaşar Kemal, who was born in Adana, wrote Mehmet Mayhawk, his most famous epic novel, in Adana, and the story mostly takes place in Adana as well. We have some Aegean towns. First of all, I'm going to talk about Fethiye. Bird Without Wings by Louis de Bernier is thought to be taking place in Fethiye Kayaköy, which is a very famous historical site in that region. And also, although it is not mentioned, because of some of the landmarks mentioned in the book, I figured out that Summer on the Turquoise Coast by Lilac Mills took place in a holiday resort in Fethiye. In the same book, there was a tour to Pamukkale in Denizli. It really talked about the site in a very beautiful way, and actually the visit to Pamukkale was my favorite part of the book, and Pamukkale is a magical region to travel. Another Aegean town, Bodrum, was the setting of Blood Tie and Biography of a Place by Mary Lee Settle. Lastly, I want to talk about my own city, Izmir. A part of the Wren by Reşat, Nuri, Güntekin takes place in my city. And The Ghost of Smyrna and Seven Houses by Elif Lytle Kuritier takes place in my city. So this was the extensive list of the books that takes place in Turkey. Because those are the places that I have visited, there are some other books that takes place in other regions of Turkey that I have not visited. I hope you liked my take on this tag. Oh, please comment down below. Have you read any of the books that takes place in Turkey? And have you visited any of the places that I've mentioned in this video? If you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, since we talked about literary adventures and literary places, I thought literary could be word of the day. Literary means edebi in Turkish, and edebi is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.